So the rundown apartments are now half done, and I've been having a lot of fun with them, but I think it's time. I just want to move on and start working on this shell that I built for a row of 3 houses across the road. So first thing, I want this to be like one of those rows of really colourful houses, where everybody has painted their house a different colour. So I like this green colour. We'll put that in the middle. And this is a really nice blue. And this sort of mottled orangey colour is quite nice, but I think we can do better. Maybe this kind of pinkish colour. Ooh, or a kind of purple colour. Like a lilac. That's quite nice. And then they're all kind of a bit more pastel-y. Yeah, I think I like that colour combo. I want to find some nice tiles to put on their little balcony areas. For now, I could make their lower balconies match the little pathways that I've put up there. But then I would like a more interesting tile on the upper balconies. I think this one could be quite nice. It's still within the same colour family, but it just has a little bit more detail. Unlike our apartment building over there, I'm not necessarily trying to make these ones ugly, but I still want them to have personality. I'd quite like them to have some statement windows. I quite like how that looks in the corner there. Maybe I'll do the same window down below. And even though the front door is on the middle level, I'd quite like to give them some patio doors underneath. I think these sliding doors with the slats would give them some probably much needed privacy. So yeah, I'll choose those. And I might just add in an extra matching window so that then that lines up nicely with the front door on the level above. Just makes it seem a bit more intentional. On the upper level, they have this kind of mini covered balcony. So I think it might be quite nice to have a couple of doors up here, as if they could use it if they wanted to. And we could have one of them be open, just as a little extra detail. I think it needs a window right next to it, though, to sort of continue this whole column of glass that we've got going on here. Pretty sure there is a matching window. Yes. Oh, well, those doors are in the wrong place, aren't they? And we need something on this side, but maybe not quite as extravagant. So one of the lot traits that I have given this place is the natural light lot trait. So this is going to be great for artists. Okay, I think that's the fronts looking pretty good. I'll give each of them a mailbox down here where it's kind of more easily accessible. Okay, controversial take, but I kind of want to give these middle balconies some tile just to make them a little bit more visually interesting. Oh, I like that one on the middle one. Actually, this tile has all the colours that we would need to match everything very well. So maybe I'll just have them all match. Oh, and we can put the tiles on these little bits in the front that I was going to turn into planters. So they can all have their matching planters. That's cute. Okay, let's give them some outdoor lights next to their front doors. And I think this light would work really well because we've already got kind of a vibe of this building being kind of unusual and having a lot of nice little quirks. But maybe we should also do some kind of ceiling light above the patio doors. I'm actually going to use the mason jar light on this house because I know what my plan is for who's going to live here. And that works really well for them specifically. This light has a couple of different colours, so we could even make it match still. But I might just shrink it down just a little. There, I think that's nice. Should we add lights to the upper level? Maybe. Can we just like reuse this one? Like that? Okay, back to daylight. I'll just make these hydrangeas float a little bit so that the bush looks more full. A little bit more. There we go. Yep, maybe some kind of fern type thing. And I wonder if I scale down these banana trees. Yeah, that looks quite nice. Now I've been raising them up so much. Maybe I should just raise the actual ground inside. They still need to be raised a little bit so that the leaves don't clip, but that's probably much better. I'll just sort of fill the space with this lavender type bush. Another little space filler. Ooh. That's quite nice. If we make that look really overgrown, like it's spilling out. Yeah, I think this one's looking nice so far. We can have a few extra flowers kind of growing up there. Maybe some very small daisies as well. For this one, I'm going to do something a little different. I'm actually going to fill this with planter boxes. I don't know if these will still be properly usable. We might have to figure that out later. And there's just like a little bit too much space. So maybe we'll pull that out and actually plant something. Maybe just give it one of these. Bring in a little of that, like it's a little overgrown. Yeah, and then we can have like herbs and stuff growing there. Maybe these people don't mow their lawn. Yeah, kind of growing wild. Wonder if we could put some... Yeah, we can fit some prairie grass there and everything. And then this house, I do still like this idea. Let's see if we can make it actually look good. So if I put like a base layer there, and then I copy it, turn it around, make it smaller, raise it up. Yeah, I'd say that works pretty well, actually. Oh, here's some like pretty flowers. It could look quite nice. Those are super cute, actually. I should remember these exist and use them a little bit more. Right, if we move that out just slightly so it looks like they're starting to grow through the cracks in that pavement. Oh, these little yellow flowers are really cute. I might put those in a few more places. Maybe they're just peeking out there. Same here, just a few. This is a fun tree. I reckon we have that. And then maybe we just fill this with some daisies. Add in some extra daisies to this grass, I think. Now, I know I said I wasn't going to make these places ugly, but I am still going to just kind of add a few bits of wear and tear here and there. especially around the side here where this is kind of all on display. There, so now it just looks like, it's in need of a little bit of tender loving care. Which is appropriate because I have already made Nancy Landgraab come and buy up this place and increase the rent quite drastically. And something tells me they are not going to be looking too kindly upon requested repairs. I think adding in some spandrels might be nice. Oh, okay, adding spandrels and columns made my game agonizingly laggy. So you're welcome for editing all that out. This has been the most horrible 15 minutes of my life. But it's done, and I think it looks great. I haven't continued as much detail up onto the top level, and I've done that on purpose, because that's something that you often see in older buildings. They put all the effort into the lower ground floor and maybe the floor above that, but then beyond that, nobody's looking up there. Oh, and if you watched my other videos, you know how I feel about adding tile in places. Okay, the roofs need a little bit of detailing. Or maybe I could like add in these little ornaments. Is that too much? Well, those fit a little better actually. When I just let it place on the corner like it's supposed to. They have these little like, I don't know, chamfers on the bottom that actually works in my favour here. Yes, I will keep those. I might put a solar water heater up on the central roof. This is going to be a very kind of like eco household. And of course, billboards. You can see from my other build over there, I just love adding billboards to buildings like this. Those connect pretty well there, actually. Yep, I like it. We can give them all a little roof vent thing, but maybe like sized down. Okay, fine. Ignore the fact that I was holding shift. Who cares? Maybe this eco-friendly house in the middle can have a wind turbine on the roof as well. Okay, and then I just want to make things look kind of overgrown up here. Maybe some parched grass growing around this. The classic dead bush as well. We'll say that this generates some condensation, so that's some grass growing around it. I don't know the science on that, whether these things would generate condensation, so don't quote me on that. I just wanted to have some greenery. And same here, maybe just like this be a bit more sheltered there. And we can have some grass sprouting from there. And maybe just a small little bit there. Just add in some like cracks and grimy textures up here, maybe. Maybe we can say this has been leaking a little bit of rusty water now and then. Okay, I think that looks good. We don't have to overdo it. Now, if you've been paying attention at all, you know what I'm about to add to this wall. One billboard there. One billboard here. Could even add a third billboard underneath, which I am tempted to do. I haven't ruled it out yet. Maybe like avoid critters one. Oh, next we have the same one over there. Okay, ignore that. Yeah, okay. kind of film one. Is that too many? That may be too many, even for me. And it takes a lot for me to say that. So maybe instead of a third one down there, maybe if I put another kind of like rooftop one over here, maybe like this one, and then get rid of that one. Yeah, I think that's probably better. Okay, this side being quite shaded, I'm just going to add in some ivy as some extra detail. It would probably survive. Ooh, can I like, how well does that size down? Next question, how well does it tile? Tile test? Oh god, no. No, 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 no. Okay. Size back up. No. Size back up, but move along. Alright. I'm willing to do this for the plot. Hopefully they can still like walk under that. I guess I'll find out eventually. Okay, so I was going to put just a regular outdoor bin, but I kind of want there to be a lot of opportunity in this neighborhood for dumpster diving. So now I'm wondering about putting a dumpster just here. And we got the opportunities then. And I feel like there needs to be a bench here. Maybe something that looks quite bus stop-ish. Maybe not a grave. Why is that in benches? Can you nap on them? I really need to pay more attention to things. I keep saying this with stuff, but it continues to be true. I really do need to pay more attention. That could be quite a good bench. Yeah, why not? And we should do some outdoor lighting. I like the billboards light up nicely. I did already add a little light there, but maybe just like an outdoor floodlight kind of thing. Maybe scaled down a little. Yeah. So my plan for this kind of extension-y bit back here is I'm going to make it look like it's a little sort of corner shop. It's going to be a thrift store. It won't technically be like functioning store because the thrift rack doesn't actually require a checkout, which serves my purposes for this perfectly because it means, yeah, like that's like low. It means that we don't actually have to have any staff coming because this is a residential lot, so no staff would come. But we can just, in our minds, say that this is just a very poorly staffed thrift store. I wonder about this wallpaper. I quite like those colours together. But then on the side, I just kind of want like whitewashed bricks, I think. But I'm going to extend this path down here to those back gates. This house gets a little bit reduced rent because they don't have much of a garden. And something I'm definitely going to put here is the DIY wall mural. I don't necessarily like that that path is exactly the same as the rest. Could this be a terrain paint situation? Or maybe I can find some nice pavers. Just like that. Oh yeah, maybe it is a terrain paint situation. Could even blend it in pretty well by using one of these kind of grassy cobbles. Yeah, perfect. And then I make it softer, this house doesn't have a fence, so we have no back gate to go to, but it would probably still walk out down here. Yeah, that works really well. I like that. I want to finish off this shop front. I need some kind of sign or decal for the top bit here. This guy could be good, actually. I'll leave him there for now while I see what else there is. This neon one could be like the name of the shop, and this could be their logo, maybe. Oh, we should definitely have some graffiti. This kind of like Banksy inspired one would look quite good there. Although someone probably could have climbed up here and done a bit there. The unicorn. So you can like find your unicorn outfit. I think so far I prefer the plumb bob. Oh, that could be quite good. I wonder if we could size up plumb bob and then place this on him somehow. Okay, let's have a go at this. So you size up to that kind of size. What if, hear me out, we increase the height of the half wall that's there? That is not at all what I'm trying to do. I admire the enthusiasm. Okay, that's only ever so slightly higher. I feel like we're going to need a bit more. Like that, maybe. Maybe I like graduate it? No. Maybe I just do the whole front that height. It took away all my lovely wallpaper, so we'll put those back. And then I just had the like faintly glowing white. Maybe there's something better I can put on those end pieces. Just some metal or something. Or that, then that looks kind of like it's, you know, constructed a bit more. Okay, yeah. Now let's see if this was all for nothing. So scale up. Does that mean this is no longer going to sit on the top? Oh, that's so annoying. It was all for nothing. But okay. Of the two, I still think Plumb Bob Guy is our best one. He could still be a main thing, but what if we also added that? Maybe this is a better branding decision than using the green. I liked the colours of the green, but this kind of works better with our little guy. Maybe if we do it like that. What other little decals do we have? I added some dice to him just because. This is kind of like, you know, it's a thrift store. You don't know what you're going to get, so you're kind of rolling the dice. That's my logic. I'll add some extra die in the corner there. Okay, I think that works really well. Also, in my head, this place is now called Yeehaw because that's what I keep thinking it says when I just glance at it. All right, Yeehaw needs some windows. You'd think it would be easier to put them in than this, but turns out those canopy things don't go away when you put the walls down. And I need the walls up so I can see where the windows are going. But yeah, that works. I'd like something just to hide that seam though. So yeah, just the world's most basic column will do the job. Let's find a nice tile to put on their doorstep first. Ooh, that could work really well with their branding. Okay, yeah, we'll do that. But already I'm thinking, can I replace this blue with a nice tile? But even if I do, will it actually look better? Questionable. Because it's so in the shade, you can't tell how bright that tile actually is. Oh, we could have a nice patterned one. That worked really well, actually. This one may... I don't know. I was about to say this one may be too much, but I do actually quite like that. I think this one, because it has those little flecks of like orange. So it brings in this colouring here. Okay, brilliant. Now I want to have a Simmy's vending machine here, plus a regular snack attack one. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. I think just a small potted plant, nothing too crazy. Yeah, maybe something like this, because that's got the great kind of like bright orange colour. And I'll put a thrift rack outside for easy access. Maybe it should be black. No. I reckon keep it white. Okay, brilliant. That's so cute. Okay, I'm thinking full-sized roof vent. Yeah. That's, you know, the usual bits of grass and things. Maybe the roof vent leaks a little. Or at least water collects there. Okay, sorted. I think I'll put another mural on this side. Just to allow people to paint, build some skill. Oh, and we could have a ghost sign. I just wanted it a little bit bigger. Okay, fine. We'll keep it that size. But still, pretty cool that we can have a ghost sign. And we'll put some graffiti. I don't mind that it overlaps the mural. In fact, that's probably a good thing. Make it look more like, you know, it's just layers upon layers of stuff. Speaking of, maybe we could layer it a little bit more. If I put that there and then the mural is like kind of in the center. I don't know which thing will end up on top. That's kind of part of the fun at this point. Okay, and I'm going to use that same terrain paint to just do a little path down here. Perfect. And then just soften it out. In fact, we could give them a little kind of like, yeah, that's good. I like that. Yeah. And then we'll just kind of make it look like it's all that way. Okay, great. I might add these kind of like privacy window things. Yeah, sunshine window screen on the back here. I think that would be quite a nice detail to have. Because again, these apartments, they aren't cheap. So we can have nice details like this. We need some lighting back here though. Yeah, I think this is the one that I used out front. We'll just have it like hang down in the center of that wall. Middle house, you get yellow, I guess, because there isn't a green. And that works as, you know, outdoor lighting, and it's not going to blind whoever's in the bedroom. So yeah, the internal floor plans, I have this kind of large landing area, could be used as an office, and then a bedroom here. And this level is going to be the kind of kitchen, dining, living main space plus the main bathroom. So yeah, we can add in windows now that we're here. Obviously, this house is going to end up a little bit different to over here. But we could go with these. We give a nice view and we can have the little detail that like some are open and some are not. So they can have two open ones. We'll give these people one open, one shut. And then that still means there's space for us to have just one here. Oh, maybe this like small version. Ooh, it could just fit there. Like what if I just lowered this by like one? See, that works. And then downstairs, we got two more bedrooms, or, you know, they could be used for anything. A bathroom, and then I was going to make these like little laundry areas. I do want a window into that laundry area, just not, I just want it to be a very, very small one, maybe quite narrow. It's not enough room for a full-on aircon unit, but we could put aircon somewhere else. And it doesn't have to match where people are having their aircon. And where's that like little fan? Here's what I'm on about. So these two houses have opportunity for nice window out into the garden back here. We could make them the same type of window, but no, I'm not feeling that. I think it should just be pretty basic. Yeah, maybe just like that. That seems a little low down. I was trying to put that in line with the door. I think that's too low. So I'll move them up slightly. Yeah, I'm now thinking I'll just redo these kind of patio areas with something that just looks a little better. Could even terrain paint them, but I think I'll go with actual tile. I don't want like puddles forming on them when it rains. Like this could be quite nice. Yeah. And I can just edge it with a little fence because I always think it looks kind of odd when it just ends so suddenly. Just putting a little edge on it can make all the difference, in my opinion. And they can still walk over this fence, so it's fine. It's probably a better colour to have that edge. Maybe brown. Yeah, that is better. Okay, so aside from individual things, like individual possessions and gardening stuff and so on, that all comes when people are actually moved in. I actually think I'm done. I I just especially love this little like corner thrift shop. Although speaking of the corner thrift shop, I haven't actually done the inside of it, have I? And it is technically a communal area, so I do need to do it. What if I continue that tile in here? Is that the swatch I had? I accept that was the swatch I had. That might be too fancy though. I liked the idea of continuing the doorstep into here, but I think, yeah, I think it would look better if we did a different flooring inside. Maybe like some nice old weathered planks. Yeah, that's much more the vibe. Doesn't mean that we can't have fun with the wallpaper though. And I have been waiting for a place I could use this kind of Harlequin diamond. I'm not 100% sure of it just yet, but if I don't find anything better, then I'm sold. Might be a case of a feature wall being the thing that we need to make that Harlequin diamond work. Ooh, actually, yeah. Yeah, I do really like the UFO wallpaper. It makes kind of like gets across this is going to be a sort of quirky shop. I would like it if it came in a brighter colour though. It does come in purple. So then maybe we can still have a feature wall. I've lost confidence in it now. Ooh, what about this one? Definitely unusual. We could still do feature wall to kind of hide where it doesn't completely match up. What if we take this tile as well and we just continue it under the windows? And then that bright blue is sort of continued throughout. Am I making sense? Or we just go straight up bright blue? Ooh. Bright blue tiles. You know I love tiles. Okay. I'm going to grab this guy. And I'm going to remember that he comes in white as well. Perfect. We can shove him there. Mustn't forget his dice, which I think I sized down twice. There, like he's throwing them. And then does this come in white? Perfect. It doesn't look great in white, but kind of the best we got. Okay, let's change the light. I want something super quirky, or at least colourful. Colourful and orange could work. The orbs are quite nice. Okay, yeah, I think this light, put it right in the middle. What swatches does this have? Ooh, kind of blue. Okay. In our mind, this is where the staff should stand. They're just never there. Then I can get some extra clothes racks inside. I'll put down 2 and change their colours. I don't know if the arrows mean anything. There, so people can come in, browse the clothes racks. Then we can have this mirror so people can check out their new outfits. I kind of want to make kind of like a little feature wall out of this curtain. And then just bring that slightly in front. And then we can put down the like miscellaneous displays. That fits kind of well there. We definitely need a rug. Preferably orange or blue. Does strawberries go? Kind of weirdly, in a way. It works with that wallpaper. Maybe if I really sized it down and just had it as like a little mat there. But we'll see what other rugs they have. Oh, this one could work. It's got the orange and the blue. Might be much better. Yeah, this rug is like perfect. And it fits in the space perfectly too. Now you know I'm going to add some plants. We can't not add plants. I really like the idea of the original Sims 1 plant being in the thrift store. So yeah, we gotta have that in here. Maybe like just this over in the corner here. So yeah, I do kind of want this store to give the vibes of like this neighborhood is on the verge of being gentrified. Yeah, up and coming kind of place. Rent is increasing thanks to the land grabs buying this whole row. So this looking like hipsterish or cool instead of just being odd and kind of musty is a bonus to me. We can just start adding in like a couple of random items to fill out their stock a little. Yeah, maybe not that one. I kind of want like colourful things. Maybe this one. That's a lot bigger than I expected. But it sizes down really nicely. Maybe over this way, actually. I can't believe they didn't put slots on this item. Awful. Terrible. I like this guy. I know I put him in Mitchell's room in the other build. But I like him so much that he can come in here too. We'll put him there. Be like a little collectible in our minds. Oh, some old CDs, that would be funny to have. Just like prop them up against that table. I love this pot. I'm definitely going to have this in here. She would be quite good as well. I wonder if we put no ghosts allowed because they don't want dead people coming back for their stuff. Is that humor too dark? I kind of want to do it though, because that makes me laugh. I'm doing it. It's happening. It'll unfortunately affect the other households here, but I think it's worth it. Like, once you die, this stuff is ours and we can sell it. You can't just come back and try and steal it back. Or maybe like the duck could go here. Every time I build a thrift store, I put that duck somewhere. He's just too good. Ooh, we should put the owl in here. Where else am I going to put this owl? Barely fits on that table, but that's okay. Right, I think just a few little bits on the walls now, and then we might be able to call this done. Our little number plaques. Yes, we can have those on the houses. They have all the colours that we need. Okay, so like the blue one, and then a kind of yellowy one. And then they don't have a pink one exactly, but this one can work. Maybe I'll change the apartment names to reflect the numbers, even though that won't make any sense, like reality-wise. It might just be a little detail that makes me smile. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how I feel. Wall-mounted cow skull, yes please. Some kind of like collectible outfit. Maybe it does take up quite a lot of wall space to be like actually clothing sized. Yeah, might just be too big. But maybe we could have one of these instead. A light up canoe sign just because. Ball and cap display maybe. Up above there. We'll put a fire exit sign in. Yeah, safety first. Ooh, this like, yeah, clock thing. Amazing. Yes. Amazing, perfect, beautiful. I'm done. Super excited about this build. I've got 3 households ready and waiting to move in, so we can furnish the interiors of their homes in future episodes. Am I doing episodes? Am I referring to these as episodes? Existential crisis. Oh my god. Yeah, why not? Episodes. In another episode, we will move in the families and furnish their homes. I think this is really beautiful. I'm completely in love with my little corner thrift store. Yeah, this is going to be really great. And I'm so pleased with how this turned out. And I'm going to stop rambling now. So, yeah, bye. Watch me struggle to get some screenshots now. This stupid camera. Does the tree still fade away in this mode? No, it doesn't. That's really annoying.